bit of a video that's going viral apropos of this topic. Officer Nakia Jones, she's a police officer, and she put up a YouTube. I'm not sure. Danielle, do you know when that went up? Yesterday. Thank you very much. So this would have been in response to the shooting. Say what? I can't hear you. I'm sorry. This would have been in response to the shooting in Louisiana. And this is clip number 10. This is, or excuse me, clip number 9. This is Officer Nakia Jones.
But what hurts me the most is the people that stood in front of a judge and stood in front of a mayor and said, I swear my oath that I will serve and protect this community. And God, please forgive me, and you can delete me if you're getting mad at me. If you are white and you working in a black community and you are racist, you need to be ashamed of yourself. You stood up there and took an oath. If this is not where you want to work at, then you need to take your behind somewhere else. I decided to work in the African-American community because I'm African-American and I wanted to make a difference. I could have worked in Parma. I could have worked in Lakewood. I could have worked in North Olmsted. I'm a double minority. They would have got 2 hits for me because I'm African-American and I'm a female. I'm here because I wanted to make a difference. But how dare you stand next to me in the same uniform and murder somebody? How dare you? You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
And here, this is clip number 10. This is Officer Nakia Jones, a police officer, talking about this issue.
So why don't we just keep it real? If you're that officer that know good and well you got a God complex, you're afraid of people that don't look like you, you have no business in that uniform. Take it off. If you're afraid to go and talk to an African-American female or male or a Mexican male or female because they're not white like you, take the uniform off. You have no business being a police officer. Because there's many of us that would give our life for anybody. And we took this oath and we meant it. If you are that officer that's prejudiced, take the uniform off and put the KKK hoodie on. So why?
There you go. And, the last clip I want to share with you, just to round this out, and then we'll pick up your phone calls. Jesse Williams, the youngest member of the board of directors of the Advancement Project, which is a civil rights think tank. He's the executive director of Question Bridge Black Males, a media project. He's written articles for CNN, for the Huffington Post. He's been a guest on CNN. He joined the thousands in Ferguson, etc. He won a humanitarian award from Black Entertainment Television, from BET. And here is a piece of his speech accepting the award as a humanitarian. Jesse Williams.
We know that police somehow manage to de-escalate, disarm, and not kill white people every day. So what's going to happen is we are going to have equal rights and justice in our own country, or we will restructure their function and ours. Yesterday would have been young Tamir Rice's 14th birthday. So I don't want to hear any more about how far we've come when paid public servants can pull a drive-by on a 12-year-old playing alone in a park in broad daylight, killing him on television, and then going home to make a sandwich. Tell Rakia Boyd how it's so much better to live in 2012 than it is to live in 1612 or 1712. Tell that to Eric Garner. Tell that to Sandra Bland. Tell that to Dorian Hunt. There's been no job we haven't done. There's no tax they haven't levied against us, and we've paid all of them. But freedom is somehow always conditional here. You're free, they keep telling us. But she would have been alive if she hadn't acted so free. Freedom is always coming in the hereafter. But you know what, though? The hereafter is a hustle. We want it now. And let's get a couple things straight. Just a little side note. The burden of the brutalized is not to comfort the bystander. That's not our job. All right, stop with all that. If you have a critique for the resistance, for our resistance, then you better have an established record of critique of our oppression. If you have no interest in equal rights for black people, then do not make suggestions to those who do. Sit down.
There you go. You know, 7.5 years of an African-American president, the racists, particularly the white racists, crawling out of the woodwork. I mean, it just, or out of their holes in the ground, or whatever god-awful place these people hang out. I mean, we got to do something. And Jesse Williams is saying, you know, if this structure doesn't work, tear it down, start over. How do we do that? We know that the Second Amendment was based in part on a fear of a standing army. Well, that's long gone. We've got a standing army. And in part to protect the slave patrols in Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia. We know that because the transcript is right there. Patrick Henry at the 1789 ratifying convention in Virginia, giving the speech about how there are, you know, how he wanted the word for the protection of a free nation to be replaced with the protection of a free state, because he was concerned that a future president might free the slaves in order to enlist them into the military as a backdoor way of ending slavery in the South. We know this. This is right out there. This is the history of our country, and it's continuing. And I know that the majority of my audience is white. And so let me talk to you white folks. We've got to get involved. We've got to do something about this. We've got to wake the hell up. We've got to understand what white privilege is. We've got to understand, we've got to have some empathy, some understanding of what the experience of black people is in this country. And if you don't know, start thinking about it. Start imagining it. What would it be like to walk or drive down the street and every time you see the police think, okay, I might be dead now? You know, the only time I've ever felt that way was when I was walking around in countries where there were wars going on. I've had bombs go off near me in Colombia. I've heard gunfire in the jungles and the fields in northern Uganda. I mean, but not in the United States. I've never been afraid of the police because I got white male privilege. Imagine what it must feel like to think, okay, you know, I could be dead in a half hour as a result of just my being here, just because of who I am.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.